Hello. So it's the day after the election, and needless to say, I'm pretty disappointed. But it's not the end of the world. I feel like it, but it's not. I'm old enough to know that we can survive disappointing election outcomes. I think that as long as people are willing to stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves, we'll keep making progress. So, personally, it means that any plans that I had to pursue any kind of transition, or the potential for transition via the military, are on hold. There are some things I can do personally, like laser. I can continue to do filler. Um, things that do not require surgery. Those are fine. And potential use of hormones is out. I don't know how seriously I'd really considered that. Anyway, so speaking of filler, it's been, I think, almost 2 weeks since the uh, initial filler went in. And I think I can see potential with pursuing, more procedures or more treatments. But I have to really think about it. So I don't know that I'm in the best place to think about it right now. Work is in some ways pretty good because I have recently received very strong endorsement from the boss that they're happy for me to continue, and they will strongly support me to continue to work on orders for the next 3 years or more. However long I'm happy to stay on orders or able to stay on orders. So that's good. There have been some, growing pains with the team and with me as the senior leader. I've had some issues with anxiety and lack of confidence in my ability to lead, but the more I move into that realm, the more, I guess, time I spend doing it, the more comfortable I think I feel, the more perspective I have about it. So, growing pains, but it's moving in a positive direction. So that feels good. I've spoken to an immigration lawyer, and there's a good chance that I can apply for my own visa because of my relationship with Abigail. We can, basically say that the marriage has completely broken down. There's no chance of reconciliation, and because my ex and my daughter are going to remain here, I can, well, in particular, my daughter is going to remain here. I can apply because of my relationship with her. I'm active in her life. I'm providing support, that kind of thing. So, and things are amicable with my ex. I still owe money, and I'm working to pay that off before paying for the visa, which the total cost for the visa is probably going to be around £3,500. So we're focusing on the debt first, and then we'll work on the visa afterwards. So it's a little delay, ultimately, in the divorce, but it's okay. We'll get there eventually. I'm trying not to be depressing. I'm really not. I mean, there's lots of good things happening in my life. So I have a lot to be thankful for. Maybe my health isn't the greatest, but it's getting better. And at least the immediate concerns are getting better. I still have long-term issues that I'm just going to have to deal with and make peace with it. In the long run, it means, potential for disability payment from the military when I retire. The longer I stay in, the better my retirement pay will be. So, these are all ultimately, in a weird way, kind of positive. Which, if I get a decent enough retirement payment, then I don't have as much pressure to just take a job just to have a job. I can be a lot more flexible in what I do and where I do it. So, what else is going on? I know, it's been so long since I've done one of these. Many of you know that I am a member of the Baha'i Faith, and I have to admit I'm feeling pretty distant from it. And it's not because the friends that I have made in the faith have been, mean or disrespectful or dismissive or anything like that. I mean, quite a large number have been very supportive of the journey that I'm taking. But the teachings of the faith are pretty cut and dry, and I don't know that when it comes to the issue of same-sex attraction and the issue of transgender identity, that I struggle. I struggle with it and staying connected. So what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means. I don't. So I'm just kind of letting it settle, trying to stay connected to my friends, mostly via Facebook. I don't have the bandwidth to go to meetings, that kind of thing. It's difficult. But I love, everybody. So it's difficult to reconcile. I really don't mean this to be so depressing. Oh my God. I've had amazing makeovers recently, and I've made good friends recently, and I am looking forward to going up to Scotland for Christmas and spending time with my daughter. I recently spent a week with her on her school break, which was fantastic. There's a lot of kind of uncertainty right now. In terms of the identity front, I have a friend recently who has referred to me by they, them pronouns. And I thought at first that it would be awkward or feel awkward, but it doesn't at all. It actually felt very comfortable. I've said this before in previous videos. I'm not a woman. I don't think I will ever see myself as a woman. I also have difficulty identifying or connecting to the concept of being a man. So, where does that leave me? I don't know. I'm not demanding or asking people to call me, refer to me by them. I'm not that, I guess, insistent on it yet. I don't know that I ever will be. I think as long as people are being respectful, regardless of what they refer to me as or how they refer to me, it is okay. It's if it's done disrespectfully, or if I'm in a place where I feel like I want to be referred to by a particular pronoun, and I ask them to, and then they insist on not doing it, that's when it becomes an issue. But in general, it's okay. It's just an interesting kind of development in terms of identity and comfort. I was talking to someone recently about the idea of the two-gender, the two-spirit, and how I don't mean any disrespect to Native American individuals or the Native American culture, indigenous culture in any way. But I wish that there was a term like two-spirit for people who were not indigenous or Native American. There is a spiritual element to that I feel connected to, that these kind of struggles I've had throughout my life, there's a purpose for it, and it's natural, and it's inspired by or touched by something greater than ourselves. That is attractive. When you grow up in a society that stigmatizes and demonizes people that when you look at, you go, well, that's me. To have a culture that honors that aspect to yourself and your contributions to society, that's very appealing. So, but I don't feel comfortable referring to myself as two-spirit because it is so culturally entwined with Native American society. So, but it's out there. If anybody knows of a term that's similar to two-spirit but for a non-Native American culture, then please, hey, let me know. I'm happy to entertain it. Along with the makeover, I did an interview with Jody at the Boudoir London. She's got a new project, which is interesting, where she's doing interviews with folks. And exploring their different experiences and looking at commonalities and differences between folks. And I thought her takeaway, her kind of interpretation of a lot of the struggle that I went through was interesting, and in a way connects to the previous kind of point about that sense of spirituality, that sense of purpose, because she talked a lot about kind of the trauma, the struggle that I had been through, and yet have kind of come out as a pretty positive person, I think. Perhaps healed in some way, not completely. I don't know if we're ever fully 100% completed, but anyway. So I didn't mean this to be this long. I kind of just wanted to vent about the election, or commiserate, maybe not vent, but commiserate. I'm not going to demonize anybody who voted for the side that I wasn't in favor of. Nobody deserves or is owed your vote. They have to earn it. And while there are plenty of people that fit the stereotype of, prejudice and bigotry and so on, there are plenty of people that have that motivation. That's not the case for everybody who voted for the other side of the aisle. And I think it's kind of sad when we kind of look at them as less than because they voted differently than what you would like. You have to earn a vote. And if it's not working, you have to figure out what will. And it doesn't mean compromise your principles. You still adhere to your principles, but look at the issues that the people that voted against you are dealing with. What was of concern to them? And figure out how do you address that in a way that's still in keeping with your principles. And I'm not talking about the folks that don't believe that trans people exist or that are racist. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all those people that have struggled with their vote and just couldn't find it, as much as they may have disagreed with their candidate. They voted for them because of the larger issues that they were concerned about. You have to figure out how to address that. You can't just dismiss it. So, anyway, that's my takeaway from my 51 years on the planet. How many elections have I been through? I think the first election I voted in was Bill Clinton. His first election. So, yeah, I've been through a few. Good presidents and bad. It's gonna be terrible, and in my opinion, it's gonna be really difficult the next few years. But we will figure out how to come out on the other side. We will get there. All right, so I've almost hit 20 minutes. Let's see, we've talked about transition, we've talked about the election, we've talked about my visa, immigration, and divorce. We've talked about family, we've talked about medical. I'm probably repeating myself. Anyway, we've covered a lot. So I appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch these. These are mostly for myself and for my daughter when I'm not here. For her to look at these and see the struggles and the joys and the thoughts that are going through my head. So, love everybody, and just stay positive. I know that's hard, but please try and stay positive.